To the insurance company I'm leaving behind. You've scorned me for the last time. I've met another who makes me sing like a lark with the first morning dew. It happened all so quickly. In just 15 minutes, Geico swept me into a loving car insurance embrace and saved me hundreds of dollars and sleepless nights. Now I needn't worry if you'll be receptive to my automobile needs. Geico will be there for me in all the ways you never could. Regards, Sylvia in Silver Spring.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, everybody, live. This is Under the Mat Radio. This is your host, Tech, with lead correspondent.
Shinblade, the sensational one. Tech, this is Wednesday, not Tuesday.
Yes, it is. Just to let everybody know that it is Wednesday. Yes, it is 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're having a very special episode today. Also with us, we have our co-correspondent, who is officially with Under the Mat Radio, Toph. How you doing, buddy? Toph? Not sure why. Toph, you there?
Technical difficulties.
Yes, we are. Not sure if Toph can hear us or not.
He'll call in.
But, yeah, he definitely will. He's on the line, we just can't hear him. But let everybody know this is a great episode coming up. This is a special DLC episode on Wednesday. Yes, this is Wednesday night. Do not be confused. This episode is entitled Sting versus Triple H, the game versus the franchise. Who had the best career? Calling in momentarily will be co-host of the Pro Wrestling Report. Great show that we're friends with, David Herro, will be calling in momentarily. Of course, NXT Game Boy will not be with us tonight. He's currently conducting business as he gets set to represent our show at WrestleMania, which is this Sunday. Of course, you can follow the show on Twitter at tech_UTMR. You can follow NXT Game Boy at NSC Game Boy. Please spell it correctly. You can follow Shinblade on Twitter at
Sensational One, and please try to spell that correctly.
Do you want to go ahead and spell it for him?
No, this is DLC show. You know, they'll figure it out. If you want to know how to spell it, chime in on Tuesday.
Okay, you're gonna make them wait 6 days. Okay.
Hey, they gonna have to listen in for this. I'm telling you like this, Tech. These people that are fans of our show and our page, they're fired up. There's been war going on for the last 2 weeks about who's better, Sting or Triple H. It's been bloodshed on our like page.
Yes, it has, man. I believe Toph, you there, buddy? You bringing them on in. Hey, Toph, how you doing, man?
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're here.
All right,
hey, man.
All right, just checking. I'm doing good. I was saying I was just enjoying the cool weather we have today. How's the weather in your area?
Don't rub it.
A little brisk, about 50 degrees.
Oh, okay.
There he is now. Of course, Toph, since you are officially with us, let everybody know how to follow you on Facebook or Twitter.
Oh, okay. You can follow me on Twitter at Toph Knows Best, like the old Hulk Hogan show. And just put in facebook.com/the Toph with a D, like that's the ball, like in the 90s, like how R-Truth does, how he's like, that's how you follow me and stuff. So, yeah.
Whoop, there it is.
Yeah.
Good.
So follow Under the Mat Radio on Facebook. Just type in Under the Mat Radio. You'll find our like page. Thank you very much for all the likes. Thank you for the blue thumbs, as NSC Game Boy says. And also, please check out our group page, which is also growing. Thank you, everybody that wants to become a part of our group page, where you can post discussions, post memes, post conversations, type up questions, what have you, about the whole world of wrestling, not just WWE. Also, follow us on Instagram at Under the Mats Radio, all one word. Follow us also on YouTube with our YouTube page, Under the Mats Radio, where you get to see our great road trip videos that the Sensational One is in charge of. Also, you get to see other interviews that we do with other shows that we go to with local talent, indie talent, and ex-WCW, WWE superstars and legends such as Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Booker T, Ron Simmons, Al Snow, and a host of others. Also, you'll be able to check out our archived episodes if you ever happen to not be able to listen to us live each and every week on Tuesday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Don't worry, you can always look back and listen to our past episodes and our extra episodes that we call DLC, like this one. David Herro will be calling in momentarily. This episode is giving a retrospective of the career of Sting and the career of Triple H. As you do know that they will be going against each other this Sunday. They definitely will be. Real quick, Toph, what is your thoughts on the match coming up?
It's hard to say. I really thought they were going to add a concept, a stipulation to the match. I thought it was going to be turned into a street fight or no disqualification. Maybe they'll pull a WrestleMania 17 with Rock and Hogan and make it one at the last minute. But as far as I can tell, it'll be a singles match. There's a lot about this match I'm curious about. Like, for instance, when The Rock was getting into in-ring shape, he was training with Curtis Axel. I've been looking for pictures of her news, like, has Sting been training? Clearly he's in good shape, but, who's he training for in-ring shape? Like, has he been to the Performance Center? I haven't found any information. Usually when Triple H has matches on YouTube, on their WWE account, they show how he works out, but they've shown nothing. So I really don't know how this match is going to be. I will say that whenever Sting whenever he's given spotlight for a big match, he delivers, and the same can be said about Triple H. We'll just have to see. I think the match will be good, but honestly, I don't. Seeing where Sting is now and seeing where Triple H is now, I see this mostly just kind of being a brawl, kind of old school, a lot of punching, kicking. Clearly, there's going to be some bleeding. I expect Sting to bleed. I expect Triple H to bleed. I expect it to just sort of have like an 80s sort of vibe to it, but I couldn't tell you how this match is going to go. Just this card in general. All these matches, they just look very tacky on paper,
Yeah, Debbie, real quick, Shin, your quick thoughts of the Triple H and Sting match coming up at WrestleMania.
Well, I'm with Toph, but in a way, as far as WWE, I'm going against him because there won't be blood on this match because you know how they are sensitive to blood nowadays. This is not going to be as bloody as Lucha Underground with Mil Muerte and Phoenix. So I expect like a brawl to happen. Triple H knows how to get over, and at this point, you know how to put Sting over. Pretty much, I think this is going to be a regular match, but I'm with Toph. They're going to make it into a stipulation. But right now, all I see is the bat versus the sledgehammer. So I don't see much into it. But it will be better than the dream match that I had, which should have happened about 3 years afterwards, with Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon.
Oh, that never happened at all.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that never
be
happened
better.
after 12 years.
Yeah, that match never happened at all. Not at all. Also, T, and you know that we got a lot of good calls. A lot of people will be calling in to discuss this topic. Thank you to all of the fans, existing and new fans that, as Shin said, that's really been commenting and liking a lot that picture and that post we did about this episode. One of the most comments that we've had on any post in a long time, even the likes. So anybody that wants to call in and discuss this topic, as we wait for David Herro to call in at 347-677-1862. That's 347-677-1862. Please press 1. Now, yes.
Have you seen one of the comments? Speaking of comments, have you seen the picture that somebody posted with Sting holding a card with Triple H on it? The fan art?
Yes, I did. Yes, I thought.
Hey,
Toph, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that one. Hey, since we're killing time, y'all don't mind spoilers, do you?
Not good.
I do mind.
All right. Since we're killing time, wait. So y'all don't mind spoilers. What about profanity?
Nope.
No, we don't mind.
Not at all. No mind.
All right. So to any fans listening out there, to anyone that gives a fuck about the Divas, nobody. SmackDown, Nikki cuts a pipe bomb promo on AJ, and yeah. So woohoo! If you care about Divas, which you probably don't. So yeah, go check that out on Thursday. Yeah. No one cares though. Okay. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Listen to that one.
It's already on YouTube, actually. You can find it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
See, I told you nobody cares.
And I thought SmackDown was live, man.
No, they did. They did the SmackDown taping. They did it after Raw immediately.
Oh, that's right.
And it wasn't even on the WWE Network, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it turns out half the folks left halfway through because the Raw ending pissed them off. So, poor girls.
Yes.
And how did Raw end it again?
We're not getting into that. That's not the subject matter. Yeah. Also, real quick, shout out to Saltine Eric Hughes, which big ups to you, Toph, being one of the king of memes, adding a Lego My Eggo box, the Eggo Waffles box with that ending. Eric Hughes added the Turbo Man action figure from Last Action Hero as well. So,
Wait a minute.
Shout out to Saltine.
Tech, I thought Turbo Man was from Jingle All the Way.
What was it? I'm sorry, it was a botch. Yeah, Jingle All the Way. I'm sorry. I was thinking of what was that? What was that action figure from Last Action Hero? Anybody remember?
I never saw the whole thing.
Oh, God.
I have that movie. It was a great movie.
You have it on VHS or DVD? Because I had it on VHS.
I got it on DVD. It's like Arnold's best work.
Think it was his best movie?
Yeah. Overall, like as far as like character variety, he was funny. He was serious. Like it was that's his best movie. I mean, outside of Terminator, of course, that will forever be his best shining work. But I'm talking about like his personality undertones and stuff.
Oh yeah. As you know, this is what we do here Under the Mat Radio. We do talk about wrestling, but we also cover pop culture and everything else and random news. The figure from Last Action Hero was called Undercover Jack. It's an Undercover Jack action figure. I had that movie on VHS, but it got destroyed. And then Turbo Man was from Jingle All the Way. But it also lets you know how important the Raw ending was, the fact that we're talking about action figures from iconic movies from the 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, I never was a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
I was. As long as he was in the right role, that was all fine.
Kindergarten Cop.
Real quick, we're going to open this up now to anybody that wants to call in. I know NSC Game Boy, I know David are prepping for Mania. I know David will be calling in momentarily. But I do know people wants to call in and view and express their opinions on Triple H and Sting. Who you think had the best career? Like you said, Toph and Shimblade, do you post that, if you can, post that pipe bomb that Nikki dropped on our page so we can watch it, because nobody really watches SmackDown anymore.
Well, I do.
Well, I mean, you watch it on DVR, but it's,
I mean,
nah, I don't watch it.
To tell you the truth, being podcasters, broadcast journalists, whatever you want to call it, you have to watch it in order to keep things up. I mean, not to insult SmackDown, but usually I'm just cleaning while it plays and just keeping an eye out for something happening. So.
But that's the point.
I mean,
attention. Yeah, that's the point. You're not fully vested.
I'll go ahead and be real. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't care about SmackDown. The whole point of SmackDown, to its core, the whole point of the show was it was supposed to be an alternative. That's null and void now. NXT is the alternative.
Well, do you think, Toph,
I was saying, let's not forget too that SmackDown, and everybody looks forward to Raw. Okay, it's the go-home show for the pay-per-view. But at one point back in the day, everybody looked forward to seeing SmackDown, because SmackDown was the last show before the pay-per-view, and it used to have meaning to watch SmackDown because it would always have a cliffhanger or make you, oh, you got to see the pay-per-view, it'd be the Survivor Series or what have you. Now it's just, watch Raw, okay, whatever. And, oh, yeah, SmackDown, who cares?
Yep.
Well, I will say this, though. With SmackDown, I was going to ask Toph, do you think with a sentiment like that, what everybody has for SmackDown, you think that they should do the brand extension again?
No, it wouldn't work. There's not enough talent, and not enough talent is over anymore. The GM concept doesn't work anymore. It's played out. As a matter of fact, probably on a later date, I know you guys are going to do Hogan versus Austin. I think on a later date, we should probably do a debate and call it the Rise and Fall of SmackDown, where we get together and we all pinpoint the exact time when SmackDown started not to matter anymore. But no, a brand split wouldn't work, because if you do a brand split, that would require 2 world titles. They just unified them, and that would also require 2 GMs, but it doesn't work anymore because everyone knows the Authority, a.k.a. Triple H and Stephanie, are in charge. Also, it wouldn't work because to do a brand split, you need to have 2 commentary teams, and WWE can't do that because their commentary team is ass. It wouldn't work, period.
Right.
SmackDown is done.
And with like I said, with that, we'll make sure we stay on topic. With Sting and Triple H, that it will be cool that we saw what happened on Monday Night Raw with Sting and Triple H doing a standoff as usual, the bat against the sledgehammer. Would have been cool to kind of see Triple H get the upper hand on Sting, but the fact that SmackDown's been so deleted as of late. Once we saw that, it was like, okay, well, we know Sting ain't going to be on SmackDown. Triple H isn't going to be on SmackDown. And that's sad because especially with the busiest season and the most hype season of your business, which is WrestleMania for WWE, you should make every show count. Make sure everybody wants to tune in to see, okay, well, this didn't happen on Raw. What's going to happen on SmackDown? Is Sting going to get Triple H again? Is Triple H going to attack Sting? Even use main event. You have all this programming that you can use even on the WWE Network when they do all these exclusives. Build on that. Use your resources, make it more interesting. But they only focus on Raw, and that's it. And what happened to the days, and going back to the Monday Night Wars and WCW did this so well, where Nitro never really ended. Raw always ended. Raw was Austin Stunner or something happened. That was the end. Nitro didn't end. It still continued. People were still fighting in the ring. It was Sting beating up the NWO or whatever. It was still commotion going on, and Nitro ended. So it wasn't DVR or, it was before YouTube, way before Twitter and Facebook. It left you wanting more because you didn't know what happened when the cameras went off unless you was there live. Raw never really did that much. Raw just ended. It was the end. And I think that would be a good segment for them to use, too. Go ahead, Shem. We got some callers on the line, but go ahead. Go ahead, Shane, real quick.
All right, just to let people know for their arguments, people have been posting this. Triple H was in WCW for those who don't know. Random thought. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, he jobbed to Alex Wright.
Yes. Yes, he did.
He fought Sting, too, I think.
I don't remember that at all.
Before we fully transition into Sting Triple H, to all the listeners out there, go to YouTube and put in Best SmackDown Ending Ever, and I believe it was the Go Home show to the Survivor Series Invasion, the Team WWF against Team whatever the hell it was, the Alliance. Or whatever, and it was one of those cool spots of like everybody came out and they're hitting their finisher on each other. And the fans were excited, the commentary team was excited, and that was back when SmackDown was so good. It was live, and there was no, pop-in fan reactions like there are now. When you look at it, it's basically like how the stuff you would see, on Raw, but, they used to do it on SmackDown. It was just really, really, really cool. That was, pretty much the height of SmackDown as far as ratings go, because back then, SmackDown was still doing, fives, So
that never
it's been a downward spiral ever since, so...
Yeah, and also let's I'll try to find this out myself of just to think if that ending on SmackDown before bringing some of the callers, that was a great SmackDown ending. I believe I had it on VHS or tape. Let's think about what happened on the Raw before. And Raw and SmackDown at the time was action packed, and Raw had good endings. So it was like, oh my gosh, we gotta watch SmackDown. We gotta see what happens. And to Toe's point. SmackDown had a great ending. You was excited to watch the Survivor Series that Sunday, whereas now you don't care. Shane, go ahead.
No, what Toph was saying, it was a good ending in SmackDown, but the whole angle with the alliance, I just say that never happened because that angle was a bust. So it just makes me bring to that point.
Yeah, Ted keeps trying to produce. He keeps trying to. Ted keeps bullying me to watch Kurt Angle versus Stone Cold. He says it was a good match. I mean, he says it was.
Yeah, SummerSlam that year. It was a great match. Yeah,
I'll check it out.
I wouldn't say great.
It's your duty now. You're officially with us, so yes, you have to. Okay, we're bringing in our first caller, bringing our good old buddy from the Independent Callcast, Michael. Michael, welcome to the Man Radio. You're live. How you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm living the dream, guys. How y'all doing, man?
Michael.
Good.
I tell you what, very, very, very interesting comments about this whole Sting and Triple H thing, man. Just hearing what's going on, me coming onto the call, I'm very excited. This is probably one of the only matches I'm excited about at the WrestleMania card is Sting versus Triple H.
Okay. Michael, in your opinion, who do you think had the best career and why?
Sting. And I'll tell you why. Because Sting came in hot, and he stayed hot the whole time he was there. He came to the WCW hot. He didn't come in as an undercarder and worked his way up. He came in hot, and he was hot the whole longevity of the brand. And I believe and that's what I think.
Okay. All right. I will say, breaking news just now, my mom, as y'all call Mama Tack, just said Sting. Triple H has been plugged in one hole, stayed with one company, and Sting has been all over. So my mom, Mama Tack,
to that.
goes for Mama Tack says Sting. Michael says Sting. Michael, you say, in your opinion, Sting. Why not Triple H?
Well, I meant Triple H. Now, this is nothing taken away from Triple H. He has worked his ass off, excuse my language, to get to where he is. You know what I mean? Triple H worked his butt off. You know what I mean? To get to where he is, and he had some help, but he worked his butt off. Triple H has always started. He's always been like an anchor for, especially at WrestleMania, to get the other guy over. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the Undertaker and him, that Hell Aces match, he lost. Both of them, they lost. So it's Triple H has always been kind of like a backseater type guy, and he hasn't really risen to that front where they could anchor the whole WWE on Triple H. That's never happened. And they could anchor WCW on Sting. You put Sting in a ring with a mop, and he can get it over. Just saying.
Okay. Toph, I'm sorry, not Toph. Shane, you had a counterpoint?
Your mother, I get with, I'm not saying I get with your mother.
Better watch your mama, Jack. When sibling comes over to the house.
Mama. Oh, God. Mama. Say hello to Daddy. But anyway, Mama Tech brings a good point. I had somebody who posted a comment saying that Sting doesn't have a better career than Triple H because Sting jumped everywhere. And, I countered his point and said that, WCW wasn't open for long and Sting didn't like WWE for so long. So he had to go to other promotions and people liked them, period. Sting, when he first got in NWA, he was hot, like Michael said, and he stayed that way. The difference between Sting and Triple H was I go with Sting because he put more people over. There were times where Sting was world champion. Okay, he beat Flair for the belt. He got beat for the belt. And then next you know, he's like doing matches with Ming and making them look strong. And Triple H most of the time was like, I got to win everything, and became most hated. So, who put over more people, in your opinion?
Okay. You asking me?
Well, I'm asking all of you.
Well, I feel to to the point of the fan that commented on the page that Sting jumped. Technically, Sting never jumped because, and once again, trying to think the fan either doesn't know the history or probably too young to know this, is that Sting started in the UWF, which was owned by Bill Watts. NWA brought UWF out. So NWA brought in the... go ahead.
You were asking who put over more people. In my opinion, and Triple H fans give me shit for this, but I don't care. In my opinion, the only person that Triple H solidly put over clean, no ands, ifs, or buts about it, was Batista. That everything he did with Batista was great. I will give Triple H all the credit in the world. The story was great. The build-up was great. The tension was great. And when they finally broke up, it was great. Fans were into it, and he never beat Batista. I think they had like 3 pay-per-views in a row, and like every time, and I think every time Batista beat him. Now, don't get me wrong. Triple H he's helped elevate some people, like he helped elevate Randy Orton and a few other folks, but there's always been like, matches where he should have lost, but he won, and then they beat him, but then he got his win back months later. You see what I'm saying? Like, Batista was like the only guy, in my opinion, that truly benefited because Batista beat him, and after Batista beat him, he got elevated to main event status, and he stayed there, and Triple H never beat him. So as far as I'm concerned, just Batista.
Okay. Right, and to the point, like I was saying, is that for the other comments, because I read, I didn't get a chance to read all of them, but I did read some. Sting didn't jump. Sting started in UWF, which is owned by Bill Watts. UWF got brought up by Crockett, and Crockett took certain talent from the UWF, Sting, Eddie Gilbert, Rick Steiner, so forth, and went to NWA. That's still the same company. Sting stayed with NWA, so that got brought up by Turner, which was WCW. Sting stayed to WCW, got brought up by WWE. Sting didn't go to WWE for 14-plus years. He went to TNA, did what he could do there, and then he finally went to WWE, went to Triple H, wasn't WCW, didn't push or what have you, and then went to WWE and stayed. So Sting never jumped. He was loyal from... he was just loyal from the beginning of that. Real quick, we're going to bring in someone else, too.
Okay.
Real quick, going to bring in Saltine. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing well. Real quick, Saltine. Triple H and Sting, who do you feel had the best career and why? And after this, David Herro will be coming in.
Okay, Sting all the way because he was 2-time NWA World Champion. That's when, the old school NWA, and plus when he was NWA TNA World Champion. He'd been WCW champion. He'd been United States champion. All those titles he won basically was from either the WCW, NWA, or like the UWF. So he stayed faithful to, basically I would call it basically WCW because it turned over to WCW. And plus, he went all over the world to Japan, Europe, and fighting tournaments and everything. So basically, he branched out. And like with Triple H, really, he was. I remember like back in '96 at WrestleMania, like he was getting Ultimate Warrior was beating him up and everything. And like he was getting in trouble when when the outsiders was coming to WCW. It was wild. It was a wild time for him. So he was having trouble trying to get up there. Sting was always put over. He was always over to the people. And Triple H came in a little later than Sting. So I think Sting had more of the following than Triple H. To be honest with you.
Okay. Well, thanks, my team. I'm going to let Saltine go. Thanks for calling in. We're going to bring in David Herro momentarily. Michael, you still there?
Yeah, right here, man. It's funny
stay with
that
us.
You got it. I do want to make a comment. I was sitting here listening to what everybody's saying, and I do have a question because I think this is kind of the final nail in the coffin with this whole Sting Triple H deal. Who are you guys wanting to see at WrestleMania? Triple H fight Sting or Sting fight Triple H? That's the question. If anyone out there is saying Sting versus Triple H, Sting's got to be 50-something years old. Tell me who's over.
56.
See what I'm saying?
56. Okay. All right. With that being said, guys, right now we are bringing in live, of course, the man who is the reason for these debates each and every month. And we hear the car doors opening. Oh, man, David Herro. What's up, buddy?
Sorry, man. You know what? We were taping the Pro Wrestling Report. It went a little bit longer than I thought. You know, Damien's very long-winded. So I just finished up, so sorry I'm late. But, yeah, Triple H and Sting. I mean,
yes.
You guys still
have a reason for the show.
Sting's the man, huh? He's a bigger draw than Triple H. And
So far, when it comes to best careers, we've got 5 Stings, and on our page, we got a lot of Triple H's and a lot of Stings, so it's been going neck and neck.
You know, I mean,
Sting
is an amazing talent. I mean, he's definitely a main event, Hall of Fame. You know, he's definitely a top 15 guy of all time. But, you know, let's face it, he's now in the WWE after his career's over, basically. And until you have been in the WWE and been at WrestleMania, your career will always take a hit. I mean, Ric Flair has said it numerous times. The most amazing thing he's ever been a part of has been WrestleMania. And Ric Flair has wrestled in front of over 100,000 people before. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's going to be, I mean, the fans are going to love Sting. They always do. They're always going to have Sting's back, and they're going to cheer for him and whatnot. It's going to be great and amazing. But, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, he hasn't had the career as Triple H. And you just look at the program Sting has been in. Ric Flair is by far his greatest adversary. Wouldn't you guys agree?
What do y'all think? So, Shin?
I'm sorry?
I don't agree with that at all, but okay.
You don't think that Sting's greatest opponent is Ric Flair?
Nope.
Who's his greatest opponent?
For me, I liked his matches with Vader more than anybody. I really liked the feud he had with Vader. I think you're sleeping on that. He had a lot of great matches with Vader. Vader was destroying everybody in the early 90s, and no one could stand up to Vader except Sting.
And Ron Simmons.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Ric Flair is the guy that made Sting who he is. I mean, without Ric Flair having Clash of Champions with Sting and saying, hey, I want to work with this kid, I don't think Sting has close to the career that he has.
Okay, well, that's just one person that Sting owes his career to. Meanwhile, Triple H owes his career to like 20 people. Without China, without the New Age Outlaws, without Stephanie, without Evolution, without Vince, he wouldn't be anywhere. In fact, if Stone Cold, if he didn't win, if the curtain call never happened, he would have won King of the Ring, and he said himself on the podcast that he wasn't ready.
Okay, well, it's good of a guy to admit that he's not ready, but I mean, you can't say that China made Triple H. She was a
I can sit here with the most confidence in the world and tell you without China, no one would care about Triple H at all.
Back then?
Huh.
Okay. David?
Yep.
What's your counterpoint on that?
So no. So what you're telling me is that when Triple H had outstanding matches with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and The Rock and Steve Austin, that China was a big part of that.
No, let's go back before that. Let's talk about when he first was making his way up into the mid-card, okay? Let's go back to 96, okay? Stone Cold won King of the Ring, right? And then Hunter Hearst Helmsley was, he received a punishment for the curtain call, as we all know. He was jobbing that year, paying his dues, as they call it. He was Intercontinental Champion. He had his feud with Wild Man Mark Merrow, and then they were going to put him up with Mr. Perfect as his valet, and, that didn't work out. And, he went to WCW as Kurt Hennig. Okay, so early January 97, this is where it's really starting. Early January 97, he was Intercontinental Champion. He was still Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He was a good in-ring talent. Not great, not special, just good. But there were many other people that were good in that year, and they were more over than he was. He was the IC champion, and nobody cared. So then they paired him up with Chyna, and she was this big, large, intimidating woman, so big that she could legitimately beat up men, and that got Triple H over as a heel. You know, that got him over as a heel. His first real standout feud in WWF was in the King of the Ring 97 when he beat Mankind in the King of the Ring finals, and that led to him feuding with Mick Foley during the summer, which later led to the introduction of Dude Love and Cactus Jack later on that year. That was his first real standout feud. And the first really good match he had was his cage match against Mankind, SummerSlam 1997, opening matchup, underrated SummerSlam, by the way, and that was really when his career started to take off. Before China, no one cared about this dude. Macho Man Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth was part of Randy Savage's gimmick, okay? We all know Randy Savage. He was colorful, he was live, he was vibrant, but he treated Miss Elizabeth badly, you know, and everybody was like, oh, man, how can he treat that gorgeous woman so bad? That was part of Randy Savage's character. But Randy Savage proved later on that even without Miss Elizabeth, he could still be over. I cannot sit here and I cannot confidently say that Triple H would have gotten over if China had not been paired up with him in 97, because his career was going nowhere.
Okay. David Herro, your point?
Okay. I mean, China was a great attraction, and she definitely made people tune in to watch, but Triple H's ring work is what got him over. You know, I mean, you know, yeah, he was a faction, and at that time there was a lot of factions. You had, you had DX, you had the Nation, you had Los Boricuas, you had the DOA. You know, at the time, that's what it was. But I mean, okay, so for argument's sake, I'll say yeah, Triple H definitely helped develop the character of Triple H. But the guy still, I mean, has had great matches. I mean, he didn't have Stephanie or China when he was in a program with Brock Lesnar. You know, and that was an emotional, you know, feud. I mean, for me, I guess the problem I have is I'll give you Vader because obviously you're pretty passionate about that. So you have Sting versus Ric Flair, Sting versus Vader as far as programs. Sting didn't have the same calibers of talent to work with.
True. I'll add this too, David. Don't forget Sting and Muta, because back in the late 80s, Sting and Muta matches was ahead of their time.
Yeah, so but that was a short program. That was 2 or 3 matches.
I'm going to give Triple H 2 things. These are the only 2 things I will ever give Triple H. Not that I'm downplaying Triple H. It's just in the grand scheme, nobody remembers these 2 things, because when people move on to bigger and better things, it's really hard to remember their smaller stuff. The first thing I will give Triple H is, regardless of the WWE propaganda that they shove down our throats, that the original DX of Shawn Michaels and Triple H is the best DX. The reality is DX was the best in 1998 when they were the baby faces, when it was him, the New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, and China. That year when they were the baby faces and, you know, when they were in Norfolk, Virginia and they invaded Nitro, those DX shirts were selling more than the NWO. That's my favorite version of DX. Many other DX fans agree with me. That was when DX was the hottest. That was when they were feuding with the Nation. And the second thing I'll give Triple H is he was a very solid Intercontinental Champion. He co-main evented SummerSlam 98 in a ladder match with The Rock. And that may not seem like a big deal, but it really is, because I'm going to repeat that. It co-main evented SummerSlam. The Intercontinental title co-main evented SummerSlam. That's unheard of by today's standards. Nowadays, the Intercontinental title is the opener. In fact, I guarantee you the ladder match will be the opener this year, you know, and that co-main evented. And they proved that you can tell a good story in a ladder match without doing crazy bumps. I'll give that to Triple H. And I guess I'll give him 2000. 2000 was a great year, great matches. He was a great heel. I'll give him those 3 things. So I just want you to know I don't hate Triple H. I respect him, too.
So me playing... Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Sean. I know you get a chance to say something. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I'm sitting back and just listening, but, you know, Toph was saying that the second incarnation of DX, I mean, everybody liked it because it was so entertaining, but not to go back on the point, but I got to say the first DX was great because they were pissing everybody off, even though a lot of people had liked it. But as far as Triple H was concerned, like, Toph, you never believed in the angle that he had with Goldust when he first had the Intercontinental title?
I remember they had a decent match. at WrestleMania 13, and that was a good program. Just kind of got lost in the shuffle of things. We talked about that before in previous episodes. 97 in general was a strange time for WWF. They weren't really Attitude yet, but they weren't in their new generation era thing either. They were just trying to figure out what they were at that point. So, it was kind of one of those blur feuds. But yeah, that was a good program. Did you like it, Shin?
I did, honestly, to be honest with you, I never paid attention to it because I was stuck on the Bret Hart slow turn that they were doing when he was all angry at the mic. And also, what's up, Herro? How you doing? So,
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm just sipping my tea, just listening to the debate. So,
I want to make sure David,
go ahead, Ted.
Get David, our super friend David, make sure he get his wind, because I know I'm pretty sure you just came from PWR, dealing with Damian Nelson, and now you come here to lead the debate. So I'll make sure that you're fully charged.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm good. No. I mean, one of the things that I don't think we're forgetting, but maybe it's just Sting has always been a babyface. He's always been the good guy in WCW. He was always the top guy. He was always one of the top three. Always one of the top three guys in WCW. Triple H was a heel for 98% of his career. Okay? Mm. And when Triple H was there, he had to contend with The Rock, Shawn Michaels, and Mankind. And Undertaker. So he was always in Austin. And so he was always 5 or 6 from the top. Whereas Sting, let's keep in mind, at one point in time, the only other babyface that Sting could really do anything with was Giant Gonzalez or El Gigante. So the talent pool is completely different, where Sting was given far more opportunities to shine and to be the face of the franchise because Big Josh wasn't going to get it done back then. So they had to go to Sting. I mean, they even brought Junkyard Dog in, and that wasn't even working back, in the early 90s.
You mean to tell me, David Herro, that PN News, the great PN News?
No, not at all.
That never happened.
Oh, yeah, that
never happened. That was the worst ladder match I've seen.
Sting is an amazing talent. He's had an amazing career. But I think if you look at it in dollars and cents and in just career matches, I honestly think if Triple H has had a better wrestling career than Sting. He may not be, people will always say that Sting is an icon. And why do they say that? Because that's what the people tell you on TV, the icon Sting. So we are programmed that way. And is he a Hall of Famer? Without a doubt. He's like I said, he's one of the top 15 guys in the history of wrestling. And at the same time, I think Triple H is one of the top 15 guys also. They just are from two different companies, two different booking ideas. One's been a babyface, one's been a heel. One guy was a top guy by default because he had nobody else in the company that could draw a dime. And then you had the other guy who was cutting his teeth during the Attitude Era.
Okay. Now, with that being said, I'm bringing our buddy Michael. Michael, you're live now. I know you had a point to bring in, too.
Well, man, I've been listening. Hello, Mr. Herro. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm living the dream, buddy. Just listening to one of your comments there. You make a lot of very valid points about Triple H working his butt off during the Attitude Era, cutting his teeth, his thing not really having a lot of people to work with that could really draw. And those are great points. The thing that always I think about is when you go to watch this thing, do you want to see Triple H fight Sting? Is there? I'm still trying to figure out what the big draw is as far as what's going on. Are we watching Sting fight Triple H or Triple H fight Sting?
The reason why it's Sting versus Triple H is because there's nobody else in the company that has any history with Sting that could make this match mean anything. So, unfortunately, they went the route of WWE versus WCW. Well, you can't have that because the company's defunct. I think what they're really trying to do is setting up Sting versus Undertaker for next year. Sting can't come in his first WrestleMania and lose to Taker. So you have it where Sting beats the WWE's Triple H. So now the iconic WCW superstar Sting has a victory over the WWE, which hasn't happened. Now they can set it up, and they can even do it the Monday, on the Raw after Mania, where Taker comes out after he beats Bray Wyatt and says, hey, you are the icon of WCW, I'm the icon of WWE, we have 100,000 seats we got to fill next year, let's have that match. I think that's what they're really trying to do. They just need to introduce Sting to an audience that some have only watched on the network, or have only played with him in the video game. They haven't seen his career, because a lot of people haven't seen TNA. So the last time Sting was really on TV was 14 years ago, and that audience is young.
12-year-olds won't know. A lot of senior fans aren't old enough to know.
Exactly. So that's why I think they're doing the whole thing with Sting and Triple H, because, Triple H is in his 50s, and his run in TNA wasn't very good. I mean, his matches were not very solid. Triple H is the kind of guy, and we've seen him do it, where he can carry guys to really good matches. Sting isn't the same guy he was, 15, 20, years ago. Triple H has a mind. Sting has a great mind for the business. They can do a great match with a lot of theory. They will tell an amazing story. But I can't think of anybody else on the WWE roster that could have a match with Sting right now and make it look good.
I have a point.
Yeah, go ahead, Shane.
Sting is 56 years old and Triple H is 45. So, you say 12-year-olds are on the product now. I would say, who really knows Triple H's good work from 12-year-olds?
Well,
here's the thing. Triple H has been on TV.
Right.
He's been on the WWE product for years. Sting has not.
Right.
If you look at it, when Raw is doing a 3.5 number for Raw, and TNA was doing a 0.7 or a 0.8, there's hardly anything. I mean, I would walk through airports with Kevin Nash, who's one of the biggest, legitimately one of the physically biggest stars, and a face that, Diesel, Kevin Nash, NWO, the whole thing. And he was in TNA, and people were like, hey, man, where have you been? I haven't seen you in years.
Right.
I've been
I've been told that too.
I've been in TNA for the last 5 years, and nobody knew that.
Because nobody – see, the thing is, nobody really watched TNA. I mean, the hardcore wrestling fans did in 2005 up until 2010, until, like, Hulk Hogan and friends stepped in, and, that's my thing. Hulk Hogan and friends stepped in and ruined the product.
Cool.
But also people forget that Sting was in World Wrestling All-Stars, which that was like something that nobody saw on TV, as well as CWA with Jerry Jarrett. I have a point to make for you, David, in tech. Go ahead.
T, real quick, we want to send a big shout-out to our buddy Kevin Nash, because I know, David, you're friends with him getting into the Hall of Fame this year. So we want to give him a big shout-out, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun Friday night in San Jose. It's gonna be the official Kevin Nash Hall of Fame shenanigans party, and then of course he goes into the Hall of Fame on Saturday night, and that's gonna be awesome. I'm very happy.
Will you be at the party?
Oh, I better be. I'm one of the co-hosts. So,
okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll take NC Game Boy with you.
Yeah. NC Game Boy will be there. He'll be
I hope
in LA, so hopefully y'all two could hook up or what have you.
Well, if he's in LA, he's going to miss it because we're going to be in San Jose. So you better drive 7 miles or go 7 hours north. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Actually, I have a point, David. Toph, listen. If you want to listen, and Tech, please listen also. There's a lot of people. I'm reading the comments right now, but there's a lot of people that are talking about, and this is a subject I don't want to get into because to me it makes little sense. But they always talk about how Triple H is better than Sting because Triple H married the boss's daughter. Now, what is your take, all three of you, on this bullet point that everybody's been making? Some say that Triple H's career because he married her. Sting is better than Triple H because he married her. So what is your take on that part?
Well, my take is to the victor comes the spoils. I mean, but that could be. I mean, I'm sure that has part to do with it. But at the same time, it's not like we're talking about a guy that isn't talented, Right. I mean, it's not like we're talking, I don't know if you guys remember, but the Mulkeys in WCW. I mean, it's not like we're talking about one of the Mulkey brothers. I mean, we're talking about a guy that, we're talking about a guy that went out there and, kicked some ass. I mean, had solid matches with guys like Chris Benoit, with guys like Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin and Mick Foley, and they told good stories. So it's not like he was just an average mid-card guy. I mean, he was always top of the card before he married Stephanie.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm not sure. Was that Sean or Toph?
I didn't say anything.
Toph, did you have something
I didn't
to say
say anything.
Okay.
Well, on the Triple H being married thing?
Yeah.
No, I did ask the question.
Oh,
okay.
Well, there's I think it was on his DVD. To Kingdom Come or whatever. I think there was a portion in the DVD where Undertaker said it best. There'll always be be like an abstract next to his name or something like that, and he just needs to be. He just needs to accept that. I will say that Triple H was on his way to being a main event guy, like, in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that was before any of the Stephanie McMahon stuff. So.
Now, David, I'm gonna ask this for you with Triple H and Sting. When you think of Triple H, what's the top 5 matches would you say that he had? When you think of Triple H, when you think of Triple H's matches in his whole career, what's some of the first matches that you think about?
I think one of his best matches was the Triple Threat at WrestleMania 20 with him and Shawn Michaels and Chris Benoit.
That never happened.
I thought WWE said it was this Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Yeah,
that never happened.
I know it never happened, but in my world it did. And it wasn't great, but when Triple H put over John Cena at WrestleMania 21, I think it was. Is that right? 21 or 22?
Was it? I think it was 21.
22.
No, that was 22.
22.
That was 22.
22. That right there, I mean, Triple H went out week after week, and I don't want to use the word buried because that's not the right term, but he put down John Cena saying he's not a good wrestler, he's not a good talent, he's not that good, blah, blah, blah. They went out there, had a pretty solid match, and Triple H put him over clean. You know what I mean? So that right there shows that Triple H isn't afraid to do business. And then you go with any one of the 2 Undertaker matches that I thought were fantastic.
3.
Not just because that they were great in-ring performances, but the stories that were told I thought were awesome.
What about the WrestleMania 17 match? Did you like that too? That Triple H and Taker had, or are you more of a fan of the matches they had with 27 and 28?
It was 27 and 28. 27 and 28 simply because they meant more. Because people weren't really talking about the streak at 17.
Right. They did talking about 18.
And then let's see here. I mean, I liked what Triple H did with Brock Lesnar in their street fight and their regular match. The match he had with Mick Foley, even though it was a complete gimmick match, that Hell in the Cell when Foley took a backdrop. He's had solid matches. I can't think of a match where I was like, wow, he really stunk up the joint on that one. With the exception of him and the Ultimate Warrior, and maybe him and Mark Miro, that's different. But Triple H, he was a great heel. He's a great ring technician. He could call a match, and a lot of his stuff was believable because he always wanted to be a wrestler. That was his goal in life. So as far as the top 5, I mean, you got 2 of them with Taker. You have the Triple Threat at WrestleMania 20. that street fight he had with Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam was ridiculous. You know,
yeah, it's one of my favorites.
You know, I mean, it was just brutal and vicious and told a great story. You know, it just you've just been solid. You know, like I said, I mean, Sting has had some great matches. Towards the end of his career in TNA, brutal. Him and Magnus, him and Samoa Joe, it was just terrible stuff. And I'm happy for Sting that he gets to wash the TNA stink off of him and have his WrestleMania match.
Okay, what do you think of Sting when it comes to matches? Besides Ric Flair, for you, David Herro, what's the other matches you think about?
He had a great program with Cactus Jack in WCW. I thought that was really good. But, you know, you can't ignore the stuff that Flair and Sting did because it was that good. It was magical. I mean, you had the pompous heel jackass in Ric Flair against the jacked up All-American blonde, blue-eyed Stinger. And they told great stories, and it was great. I mean, and then, of course, Sting and Vader, well, yeah. I mean, because you're right. At the time, Vader was killing everybody. I was legit scared of Vader because I'm like, God. I mean, he could just beat anybody. And then, like, I knew when Hogan was going to wrestle Vader, I'm like, God. I go, this could be the end of Hogan's career because Vader was so believable. He was such a badass. You honestly thought he was going to kill somebody. He was the Brock Lesnar before Brock Lesnar.
Good point.
I also enjoyed Sting and Luger against the Road Warriors, or Sting and Luger against the Steiners, because those were, those were 6 guys that loved the wrestling business and went out there and busted ass. Now Luger was the weak link, but I mean, anytime you had those 3 tag teams involved in anything, it was always going to be entertaining.
Well,
and of course, and then you can't forget about Sting and Nikita Koloff, because those 2 guys had amazing matches also.
Yeah.
Well, David. David. You always say that Lex Luger was the weak link. I mean, come on now. The guy screamed when he punched, and he overscreamed when he kicked him. Yeah, he did.
Well, side note, David Herro, if you remember when Muda hit Luger with the mist and he had, like, he got shot. You remember that from
The what?
If you, I think it was one of them people, Starcade or something, and Muda
it was Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, Halloween Havoc. Muda sprayed Luger with the green mist, and he just yelled like he got shot, and he just fell. And Luger's knees never let you notice. Luger always fell with his knees up. So just the way he thought it was like someone shot him. And it was just
every bump was always elbows first. So
right.
Oh God. Actually, hey guys, I have the fan tally from the Post about this debate. David, Toph, Tech. I have a score of Sting with 21 for Sting, and Triple H for 7. So 21-7, the fans vote Sting, and there were a couple of there were some fans that had equal ones, which they don't count. They never happened. So I guess Sting is more iconic with Triple H.
Well, to preview the point, and like I said, I'm playing in the middle. I'm not going either way. That one, people not giving Triple H a fair due. Don't beat me up, Toph. A lot of the comments,
they giving him the white.
And a lot of the comments in general, even before we did the debate show, was always Triple H to Stephanie, Triple H to Stephanie, Triple H to Stephanie, blah 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 blah. But even if you exclude that, him being married to Stephanie has nothing to do with his work in the ring. So you gotta give him that credit.
Yeah.
For everyone that says Stephanie made Triple H or whatever because he's married, let's not forget Eric Watts. Okay, let's not forget David Flair. Let's not
Greg
forget
Gagne.
all Garrett Bischoff, Greg Gagne.
Greg Gagne was good.
Okay. Greg Gagne was
don't
solid.
Forget David
Wait. Greg Gagne was 209 pounds. Okay?
Yeah.
He was built like a noodle. There's no way he should have beaten anybody. Okay? So for everyone that says, oh, I guess he married the boss's daughter, a lot of the boss's sons got pushed, and they were terrible, and they never got over. Triple H is talented.
What about Larry Zbyszko? He married
Larry Zbyszko?
Well,
he married Vern Gagne's daughter.
Right, but Larry Zbyszko was a star before he married, Donna Gagne.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and basically give my 10 cents on really the reality of how I really feel about Triple H. I'm not always into the Kool-Aid that James E. Cornette always says. Big Cornette fan, though he can be a little over-eccentric at times, so I don't agree with everything he says. But he said a quote about Triple H, and I've talked to this to Tech privately before, and he knows where I'm going with this, and it just sums up Triple H to a T, where Cornette said Triple H is the guy that works with the guy that draws money, and that's pretty much been Triple H's entire career. Me personally, as a fan, this is my problem with Triple H. He's been doing it his whole career, and he's doing it again right now. What I've always disliked about Triple H is the biggest era in wrestling was the Attitude Era, and the faces of those era was Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. That's just irrefutable. That's the reality of it. Triple H was one of the many faces responsible for the Attitude Era, but by himself, he was not a standing face. He was, when people think about the Attitude Era, they think about The Rock, Stone Cold, and maybe DX. Some people might think of Triple H as a single individual. Me personally, when I think of the Attitude Era, I think of DX. I think of when he was the Intercontinental Champion. I think of when he was with China. I think of that kind of deal. I don't think about Triple H, the performer, as a single star until the Ruthless Aggression Era. We're talking WrestleMania 19, 20, 21, so on and so forth. What I hate about Triple H is his whole career, right? His whole career, and he's doing it right now, he attaches himself to whatever is over to keep his career relevant. Like let's talk about this, okay? So remember that whole angle when Stone Cold got ran over by the RV or whatever it was? I mean, that was a long angle. It went over for like a year, and then finally they revealed that Rikishi did it because Triple H told him to. They had their 3 Stages of Hell match. And Triple H beat him, right? So then Stone Cold goes heel. Who does he pair him up with? Triple H. Almost immediately. Wait a minute, you were feuding with this guy for a year, and now all of a sudden you're with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay. So then Shawn Michaels, he starts becoming a heel. He's the hottest heel in wrestling. Who does he get paired up with? Of all the people on the roster, Triple H. Okay, so then he gets his quad, he tears it, right? He tears it, and then he comes back in 2002. He gets a great pop, Madison Square Garden. Okay, he won the Royal Rumble, great. He beat Chris Jericho, great. Nobody cared though. What was the match everyone cared about at WrestleMania 18? Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. Triple H has main event at WrestleManias consistently where he's not the focus. He main evented that show, but no one remembers that match. They remember Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. And it happened again at WrestleMania 25. He fought Randy Orton in the main event, but nobody remembers that. Who do they remember? Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. How can you be a world champion and you main event and nobody remembers? That tells you something. You know something else they don't tell you? They tell you that this dude, he won the world championship, but he dropped it to Hulk Hogan the very next month. Now, with Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock, can you honestly tell me with a straight face that Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Steve Austin, John Cena, do you mean to tell me that today, could you see John Cena winning a championship only for him to drop it the very next month to some guy that just came back? Yeah, John Cena did that to Brock Lesnar, but that's Brock Lesnar. Could you see that? I mean, that happened with Triple H.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely,
and
I could see that.
Yeah, I can see it happening to Brock Lesnar. But would he drop it to anybody else?
Hold on a second. When Hulk Hogan came back and lost to The Rock, Hulkamania was ridiculous. He was over like $1 million. And it shows that Triple H was willing to let a guy almost twice his age beat him.
Yeah, but it just shows you how quickly they gave up on him, though.
But Hulk Hogan was ridiculously over. Honest to God, does Triple H owe you money? I'm just curious because it sounds like you really do not like the guy. You know?
No, I don't like him because he always shoves his face. He's always attaching himself to us over.
Well, hold on a second. You said wait, hold on a second. Okay. You said everyone remembers the match Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, not Triple H and Jericho. You're talking about two of the most iconic names in the history of pro wrestling, of course. And then you say no one remembers Triple H. I forgot who it was.
Orton, Triple H.
And Orton against Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, one of the greatest matches in the history of WrestleMania. So I think that's not truly fair. Wait, hold on. And then you mentioned how you paired up Triple H with Austin, how they hate each other. I kind of remember seeing Sting in NWO red face paint after they tried to take him out. Okay?
Yeah, that was the only thing Sting ever did, though.
But I'm just saying, it's wrestling, and it happens all the time. I mean, you know, you had Triple H and Brock Lesnar standing in the ring together about how they want to beat John Cena.
Look,
all I'm saying,
Mr. Herro, is this. This has been consistent throughout his entire career. Every time something is hot, even if it's something that makes no logical sense, Triple H is right next to it. Triple H had zero interaction with CM Punk. And then he cuts the pipe bomb. All of a sudden, he's feuding with CM Punk. Triple H had zero reaction with Daniel Bryan. All of a sudden, he's working with Daniel Bryan. Brock Lesnar comes back. All of a sudden, he's working with Brock Lesnar. Sting's in WWE.
Who Brock Lesnar want to work with?
Hey, he's part of he's COO, right? I mean, maybe he booked it. I don't know.
Okay, well, CM Punk in that pipe bomb is one that called out Triple H.
It did.
He didn't have to feud with him immediately, though.
He did. But I will say this, within that time, and no, I'm playing both sides, since this is a debate.
Oh, you're that guy. Okay.
It's funny. So we got Damian Nelson in Toph now, and David's going against him also.
Did I hear a butthead?
To Toph's point, we got to remember, in the business of wrestling, anything, as Scott Hall said a lot of times, and I've talked to guys, in this business is not about making friends, it's about making money. So, to your credit, even though, Toph, you don't like Triple H, and I've heard people talk passionately against Triple H and against a lot of other guys, he still is a small businessman, and that's the whole point. Because, with that being said, you can even say the same thing with Hogan. Hogan ain't work with you unless you can make him money. And look at Hogan's career and who he worked with, and there's certain people Hogan didn't work with because he knew I ain't going to make no money with him. And Triple H did the same thing, and it was a small business move. And then plus two, get Triple H credit, he, in the past 10 to maybe 13 years, if you had a list of the top 5 heels in the business, you would have to put Triple H in top 3. Triple H is one of the last true good heels, and I'm talking about legit heels, and I'm sure David Hill will probably agree with me, like the Pipers or the Roots. Not too many people could be an effective heel like Triple H, and the fact that he did it around the Attitude Era, during the new generation, did it during the whole whatever they call it, the early millennium, and even now in the PG era. So
ruthless aggression.
The ruthless aggression. So Triple H shows the fact that he can still be a good heel. He can work with a variety of talent and still put on good matches because people wanted to see it. How do you feel about that, David Herro? And then I'll let you go ahead.
Okay.
No, I mean, for me, I agree. It's all about drawing money. And the one thing that's always been consistent is that when people boo Triple H, it's because they legit hate him and they want to see him get his ass kicked. And that's what sells tickets. It's always been the baby face versus the heel, where the fans want to pay to see the good guy get his revenge. And there hasn't been a better antagonist than Triple H when it comes to doing just that. You know, that's just my take on it.
You know, I have a point to make, and I forget about this because, David, you know that I don't remember a lot from WCW from 99 to when it closed. But I remember anybody help me out here? Didn't Sting turn heel after 1999 and it didn't work?
With that fall brawl against Hogan.
He's never worked as a heel.
They tried so many times to make him a heel.
The closest thing that Sting worked to a heel was his "You Guys Can Stick It" promo, but that never really got over as heelish. It was just a reaction to what happened that last week when the Imposter Sting attacked Lex Luger. Remember?
There are certain guys that the fans will never boo, and Sting is one of them.
Did you say something, David?
Yeah, I said there are certain guys that the fans will never boo, and Sting is one of them.
Right. They've tried. He traded on Hogan in Fall Brawl 99, I believe, or 2000, whenever it was, and they still cheered him. They had him hitting Bret Hart with the bat and feeding Bret Hart. They still cheered him. Like Dave Herro said, you can't, no matter what Sting does, you can't boo him. They tried it in TNA. For the few of us that watched it, when he grabbed Dixie Carter. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the day he attacked Dixie Carter or something, and they was trying to push him as heel. Didn't work. Still cheered him.
When he was the main event Mafia, they still cheered Sting but booed everybody else.
Because they were heels.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because
they cheered.
The TNA one was weird. Basically, RVD debuted in TNA, and then in his debut, Sting beat him down for baseball bat. He grabbed Dixie. This was when Hogan and Bischoff were in charge. Sting was doing quote unquote heelish things, and then the big swerve ended up being Hogan and Bischoff going heel, revealing that Sting was right all along. But yeah, during that whole thing, they were still cheering Sting. It was pretty funny, actually.
Now, I do have a topic. Toph, Tech, Herro, incarnations. Now, Triple H had many incarnations. I think Triple H had more than Sting. Triple H was terrorizing. He was John Paul Levesque. It never did. Well, terrorizing more than Levesque. Triple H came over to WWF. He was the Blue Blood. He turned into Hunter Hearst Helmsley of DX. Triple H. He turned into The Game. He turned into, I think it was The Game for many years. He turned into COO Triple H and shaved his head.
Wait, now remember, there's two Triple H's. I'm serious, not being sarcastic here.
Okay. I'm listening.
I was just making sure you knew there was two Triple H's and not one. That's all.
Well, it was DX, and then he turned it to The Game, and after that, everything was history. And then also with Sting, Sting was a Blade Runner in CWA, moved to Mid-South. You know, he was with the Ultimate Warrior, Blade Runner Rock. He was Sting in Mid-South. He moved to NWA. He was Sting, the Blonde Surfer, which was the same thing, and it went on for many years. Then he darkened his hair. Go ahead.
Real quick, guys. David, you still there?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, David. I know you pressed for time because I know, like NXT Game Boy, you're preparing to leave. Leave us with last comment about Sting and Triple H, and your thoughts of what's going to happen at Mania.
I think it's going to be a fight. I think they're going to tell a great story. At the end of the match, Sting will be the victor, and I think Triple H will show him crazy respect.
You don't think it's going to be a longer angle?
No, I don't.
Triple H gets his revenge next month?
I don't think Triple H has to get revenge. I don't think so. Because if they're going to build up Sting versus Undertaker, you need to have a strong Sting for a year to go up against the Dead Man.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, David, thanks much for your time. Hopefully you had fun. I know you got stuff to do.
When I come back from WrestleMania, we'll definitely talk some more.
Don't forget, we already announced in April is Hogan against Austin's the next debate. It's official, so we got to have you for that.
Awesome. I'll be there.
Buddy,
all right, guys, have fun. We'll see you. Take care.
All
thanks. Bye.
Take care.
Everybody, it was David Herro from Pro Wrestling Report. chiming on into the Sting and Triple H debate of the best career and iconic name. Now, Shen, go ahead. You were saying about the incarnations.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it was a little long-winded. Sting was was the blonde-haired surfer gimmick in WCW. That went on for about 7, 8 years, and then he darkened his hair, became Sting. And next you know, and people mock Sting for this. He was inspired to meet the Crow, which Scott Hall lent to him, told him that you should be the Crow. It got over. After that, Sting had this weird angle with Vampiro, and that's all I remember, 99. Now he has a Joker gimmick in TNA. Your thoughts, Toph?
I like Joker Sting. I thought he had some of his better promo work. I thought his better promo work was his Joker Sting. One of the best segments he did in TNA, and in my opinion, one of the best segments in TNA in general was it was like a backstage segment where Hogan was there and he was in the back, and he was basically telling Hogan, like, you know, about his daughter and his son, because, you know, in real life, you know, everyone knows about what happened with Hogan's son, and, you know, how the crazy stuff that Brooks been doing, and Sting just attacked Hogan and was like, oh, you're going to wear a mask. It was a really cool sort of psycho, kind of Jokerish sort of Batman thing, and people were like, oh, you know, this is TNA just trying to take advantage of, you know, Heath Ledger's Dark Knight. But if you look at how Sting did his promos in Wolfpack and WCW, he always had kind of a Jokerish sort of vibe to his promos. But I feel like people are sleeping on his TNA work. Maybe the matches he had weren't that very good, but some of his best promos were in TNA, because in WCW he really didn't talk that much after he became Crow. You know what I mean?
And to tell you the truth, Toph, that year-long angle that he had when he was in the rafters and everything, I thought that was one of the greatest angles ever. You know, the anticipation of people, they were wondering when Sting was going to come back, when Sting was going to wrestle, and they always teased him with the NWO. And when he finally came out in Starrcade with the music, which I myself, and NSC Game Boy are personal fans of the theme song, that was the biggest pop ever that I've heard in wrestling. And, you know, I think this one at WrestleMania is going to be a big pop, even though the music is kind of like Simpsons Halloween-esque.
I can't wait to hear the pop to see Sting and Taker in the same ring on Post-Mania Raw. I think that's going to be like, that could potentially be, because you know how those Post-Mania crowds are. I'm really looking forward to seeing Sting and Taker, because you know they're going to do something teasing Sting and Taker, and I just can't wait to hear the pop. That might be like the biggest pop ever. Like, that might rival. I know when Brock Lesnar came out in 2012, when he came back, that was a loud pop. It might rival that. I'm not sure. It's going to be a big pop, though.
Yeah, a lot of hardcore fans were jizzing in their pants when Brock Lesnar came back to see him beat the hell out of Cena. Now, I will ask you this. Now, Toph, I personally think that if Taker came out and Sting had a confrontation at Raw after Mania, that would be great. But also with WWE and what they don't know what they're doing, I think they'll do that like 3 months. It's like probably like right after Royal Rumble or something.
No, I don't think so. I think they're doing it that night.
I disagree on that.
Now,
They got to WWE. You know, I know we all say how they don't know what they're doing, but one thing's for sure, they know that with Sting there, and Sting has said it in media public before, and taking those, that they know they have to do Taker and Sting for Mania for next year. Mm-hmm. That's the money match, especially with the way Mania's been going this year. They
pretty much acknowledged. They pretty much acknowledged that post-Mania Raw is like, it's like Wonderland.
That's
you know, like
thing. Yeah, it's like
like they're not even surprised. Like if you look at it's hard to find it. If you find like post-Mania Raw on 28, it caught them off guard. On 29, halfway, that was the one where they really had fun. At 29, halfway, they were caught off guard. But then like by the second hour, they were like, okay, this just happens every year. And then last year, they were like, okay. So they know. The post-Mania Raw, that's like the one night of the year they can't fuck it up. And even if they do, fans will take it over and make it good.
Now, think about it. Think about this. Think about this, Shen. Yeah, think about this, Shen, to your point. After Mania is done and over with, okay? what else could WWE do? They think they say we have to have an OMG moment at post Raw. The only thing you're gonna have left is one. You got to do Sting and Taker. I mean, they did it with Rock and Cena. You kidding me? They built that up for you. And I mean, not to say that that's not a big match. Oh, hold on. Not saying that that's not a big match. It's not. It was never a dream match that everybody wanted to see, like Undertaker and Sting. People have been talking about this since the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars. So the only OMG moments that WWE has left after Mania is one, Sting and Taker in the ring. Two, the Money in the Bank. After that,
I don't think it's going to be Taker that's going to challenge Sting. I think it's going to be Sting that's going to challenge Taker, though.
All right. Well, I'm saying is that I'm with you guys as far as Raw after Mania. Now, I'm just saying personally, to me, the way that the track record is going, that let's not think. I mean, it's okay to think it. But the way that it's going is that maybe not. Now, to tell you the truth, that would be a great moment. I'm looking forward to Raw after Mania. And it's weird. Is it weird for me to look forward to Raw after Mania more than WrestleMania?
No. In fact, if I had the money, I'd have the ticket to Raw after Mania and not WrestleMania, because you're not going to see Sting and Taker at WrestleMania, but you will see it the next night. So I think you're having a better deal, because Raw after Mania is the better show. It has the better crowd. This is, at first, it's one thing if it happened one year, but then it happened again, and then it happened again last year. It's like a new thing. It's like a trend, Yeah, it is. So, yeah, it might as well be a pay-per-view at this point.
Well, real quick, I will say that, not to throw everything off topic, but, Undertaker and Sting is the moment right then and there. So the stare down will just be the OMG moment period, something that will be reaching all over the newsstands and media outlets. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, we don't need to talk.
Yeah.
But then again, you remember Triple H and Undertaker when they had that weird promo a few years back when he didn't talk at all.
That was in January.
I'm just saying, remember that weird promo when he didn't talk at all? They were just looking at each other and it's like, since when Triple H is a mute?
Yeah, but to end the Triple H Sting thing, all I'll say is, like I've told Tech before privately on the phone in our conversations, that if the Attitude Era was a bike, Stone Cold would be the front wheel, The Rock would be the back wheel, and Triple H would have been the mini replacement third wheels. He came back as a babyface after he tore his quad. He got a really huge ovation. He won the Royal Rumble. He fought Chris Jericho, and he got the title. They gave up on him, though. I mean, yes, Triple H gave Hogan the title. He dropped the title. But not too soon after that, I mean, like his run as a babyface, it just didn't work. When Randy Orton beat Christian, I was very upset. And, they kind of made Christian the heel, even though fans weren't booing him. And Edge, he appeared on Twitter, and he said, Edge made this comment, and he said that he would rather be the number one heel than the number two babyface, which he claimed that, Randy Orton, that's the comment Edge made, and it made some sense, because Randy Orton had got drafted to SmackDown, and his argument was saying Christian would have been the number two babyface as World Heavyweight Champion, so turning him heel was the best move. So, Triple H, they tried to push him as a face, and each time they pushed him as a face, it just didn't work, and, so he turned heel. And, he was given the World Heavyweight Championship, and he formed Evolution. So clearly Triple H as a heel, that's his thing. But even as a heel, he was number one heel in the company. He was number one, but even as a heel, he was only the number one guy because Stone Cold was gone and because The Rock had left for Hollywood. Sting, on the other hand, he was the number one guy. And despite the fact that WCW brought in Hogan and Savage, and that's the thing about Sting that fans don't realize, as WCW kept bringing in all these WWF talents, Sting had to take a back seat, because he was the number one guy. And then they brought in Hogan, and then they brought in Savage and Duggan, and all these guys kept coming in. But no matter how many back seats Sting took, he was consistently over. Every time he came out there, he was over.
I can't believe you mentioned Duggan.
Hey, fans love the USA stuff. Come on, yeah, So
that hardly happened. With Hacksaw Jim Duggan moving over, nobody cared after Yokozuna squashed him.
Real quick, random tech here is Favorite Hacksaw Jim Duggan moment of all time is when he traded on America and became a part of Team Canada.
That never happened.
Hilarious. If you watched that, it did. No, that wasn't anything bad. I'm sorry. I disagree. That happened because a lot of people remember that. That wasn't anything bad. That was hilarious. To see Hacksaw Jim Duggan wearing the Canadian flag on WCW with Lance Storm.
Yeah. Okay, now we remember Chris Benoit that was in a triple threat match that never happened, and I believe Duggan traded on Lance Storm, which never happened either. You know, because what happened after that?
With what?
With Duggan being Canadian.
I mean, look at the time period we're in. I mean, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was already a legend. He didn't need to do much. The fact that moment of seeing Hacksaw Jim Duggan wearing a Canadian flag, to me was hilarious. I marked out for that.
Now, Tech, was this before or after the angle where Duggan found the television belt in the trash can and started defending it on Saturday night?
I don't remember. I don't remember this was before. You know what? It might have been after. Like I said, I don't remember much. Toph, do you remember?
That never happened.
Scott Hall won the TV title, and I think a week later he was like, "I don't want it." He threw it in the trash, and then Jim Duggan had it. It was a WCW Saturday night thing, you know. That was kind of like when things were going pretty south.
It was like Zack Ryder's internet belt.
Now let's think on this. At WrestleMania, are y'all excited to at least see the entrances of Sting and Triple H? Because I'm also excited to see the entrances of some of the wrestlers instead of some of the matches. Of course, you know, Taker's will have a great entrance. I know Bray's would be cool. Really not sure if they're going to do a big entrance for Cena, because I know he's kind of down on the card.
They did cast him, though. They did cast for Cena's entrance.
Oh, they did? Okay.
They did that, and, you know, Sting with the Scarecrows, which should be Ravens, go, Baltimore. And
they're not scarecrows. They're actually crows. Scarecrows are like made out of straw in Halloween.
Sorry. Well, yeah, you know. It shows how much I care, but you know, the one thing I want to see is Rusev's entrance because I saw the casting the casting call for that one.
So, and you said Triple H does do a good job at the whole theatrics with the entrance at Mania. I enjoyed his last 3 match entrances. Just to see Sting come out to an entrance at WrestleMania.
I won't lie, man. I won't lie. Not to sound unpatriotic, but I'm a huge mark for the Russian national anthem. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, I love it.
One of my favorite moments ever. One of my favorite moments ever in movie history was Rocky IV, when Rocky fought Drago, and Drago came out, and it had the flag of his face, and it was playing the Russian national anthem. I mean, they could really do some cool visuals with Rusev's entrance.
Don't forget to Apollo Creed. Let's not forget Apollo Creed with James Brown. Jam.
Oh, yeah, that was a good entrance.
That was good. That was a good entrance.
Living in America. All right, fans. This will be the last show of Under the Mat Radio as we perform some kind of acts of treason with the Russian national anthem. It's been nice knowing you.
What are you talking about?
I'm joking. I'm joking with you. No, actually, I get it. Now, I still haven't seen the Rusev. Training video. I'm looking forward to John Cena with Nikki Bella video. The Hearts on Fire.
I don't think that video will be full, kids. Yeah.
Well, with Boobie Bella always flipping out of her top.
You know, since this is rated R anyway, I just want to say I find random music. Was that a PS3? Oh no,
that's
it was not. It's the Rocky IV montage for Rusev and
I remember that song. I just want to say I used to find fake boobs attractive until I saw a girl in real life tear her fake boob. Not a pretty sight.
Oh, okay. I'm not hungry no more.
Yeah, leave him out.
Actually, am I the only one? Am I the only one who's a fan of Hearts on Fire from Rocky IV?
No, I love that shit. Actually, I
used to study for college exams to that song.
Yeah, I work out to that song. The whole Rocky IV soundtrack is great. Even Burning Heart, which is also by Survivor. I also think Survivor's the lead singer of Survivor just passed away not too long ago.
Yeah, random for you, Tech. I gotta say, like, and Paul, no homo for this, but you working out, you got more muscles than Snoop Dogg.
Newborn babies have more muscles than Snoop Dogg.
You see his arms?
It's not hard to do. Yeah, we did. They did. So, like I said, real quick before we close it, we're gonna close out the show a little early on tonight. Is favorite incarnation of Triple H and favorite incarnation of Sting. Toph.
My favorite version of Triple H would probably have to be his 97 heel persona when he was of China and he came out to that classical music song. I just laugh every time I hear it. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. As far as Sting goes, Crow Sting forever.
Hey, Toph, I'm sorry to botch. Shin?
We don't sound alike, Tech. I think for Triple H, I actually like the game. You know, when he had the Scott Steiner chain link chest plate, whatever thing he had. Remember that when he first came out?
Yeah, I remember that.
Either that or the one with Motorhead singing live. You know, which fans, you don't know the lyrics. Tech will tell you the lyrics. Toasted itch on the shoulder plane, whatever.
So shoulder bun.
Well,
he said it. WrestleMania 17. And let's not forget the King of Kings song, where he clearly states, Levy says, that he tasted his grin and it tasted good.
The fuck does that mean?
Listen to the King of Kings thing. Listen to the Triple H King of Kings song. He just did go back and watch Raw when Triple H comes out. Right when he goes around the digitized banner is a lyric that Lemmy from Motorhead says, and it says, he tasted his grin and it tasted good. What? How do you taste the grin? Yes.
Fans, can you taste
what
your own
happens
grin?
when you sniff coke? What happens when you do coke and write lyrics, folks?
All right, well, as far as the Sting, I'm going to go nostalgic. I'm going with the surfer gimmick because he was very colorful, and it's just it just popped. That with the guitar riff that he would come out to, you know, dun, dun, dun. It just resonates within me forever. It was almost like it was a better version than the Ultimate Warrior theme.
Well, let's say my favorite Sting persona would be, of course, the Crow, but as far as his promo work would have to be the insane. They called him the insane icon. I mean, he was doing like the Joker-esque Hell in TNA. I thought that was great because it was different. And wiping the Bobby Roode promo, he was in the ring, he was putting the paint on his face, and remember that he was all yelling, and that was fun. That was fun. I know TNA
Sting's got a great promo. And he proved that in TNA. I think that was probably the thing that Mr. Herro missed the most. He proved some of his best promo work was in TNA. I could easily see him being a GM. I mean, I don't want to see him be a GM on Raw, but if he had to have a GM, you know, I could see him doing it.
Now, guys, I want to ask you, since you went there, what is the best promo that you ever seen from Triple H and the best promo that you've seen from Sting?
Oh, God. Best Sting promo for me would be the Nitro before he turned Crow when he told everybody he could stick it. That to me that was his best promo. And if you notice the small detail that shout out to my buddy Comey who noticed this.
Hey Comey.
Is notice it. Sting never looked at the hard camera the whole time.
You what?
and that was unheard of then. When anybody does a promo in the ring, they always look at the hard camera. When Sting came out, his back was turned towards the camera. The small things that made that promo genius. I don't know if it was Sting's idea. Could have been Larry Sabisco. Don't forget, Larry Sabisco did a lot of work with that, and Kevin Sullivan with a lot of promos and writing. Doing a whole You Can Stick It promo when Sting came out and wore it. The last time he's ever wore the classic Sting tights, because he had the red tights with the white scorpion. Sting's back was at the hard camera the whole time. And instead of using the hard camera, they had to use the side cameras and pan it so you can see him. He never looked at you, the viewer. He had his back towards you. And that was the small, great details that showed that Sting was telling everybody they could stick it.
You just now knowing that part?
I'm not knowing it. I'm just pointing it out. That's just because a lot of people never picked up on that. And then you got to think, Fusion, everybody doesn't get when it comes to presentation. They don't even know what a hard camera is or get the small stuff. So.
Oh, okay. Triple H, Tech?
Triple H? Oh gosh. I'm not doing it on purpose. He's done so many promos. It's weird. He did the small promos
breathing.
he did. Yeah, we had enough of those yesterday. The long gasp, I remember the small promo he did against Chavo. If you remember, after the Rumble, it was a random Raw. He had to go against Chavo. It was after Eddie died or something, and Chavo hit that little mini feud with Triple H, and Triple H was like, "You better pray to whoever God Eddie." It was something like that. I thought it was kind of funny. The way he was talking to Chavo, the way Chavo sold it was pretty good. But
isn't that the one where Chavo retired?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's kind of hard to think of one good Triple H promo. I'm not talking about the monologues. Just in general.
Toph?
Yeah, pretty much You Can Stick It was Sting's best promo. As far as Triple H is concerned, he cuts the same promo every week. The Raw where he lost, the Raw after WrestleMania 20, and the Raw after WrestleMania 21, he literally cut the exact same promo, word for word, where he just said, "You were better than me on one night, blah, blah, blah." Really hard to point out which promo really stood out. But the promo that I remember the most from Triple H that was good, and I have no idea when this was, so if I don't know when it was, that means it had to have been like 99, because my wrestling knowledge of that year is small. I think he was having an interview with JR, and Triple H was basically talking about the curtain call and how he got punished, and it was some backstage interview. It was a good promo. I don't remember when it was, though.
That was the one-on-one that was in his DVD, I think, where he was cursing and it was leaked out and everything.
Yeah, okay.
Shan.
I guess we're all unanimous with saying that You Can Stick It promo. And with Triple H, I have a moment, and that was last year when Triple H took the sledgehammer and was talking to the Shield and says there's always a plan B. And from Tech, who I've been on the road up and down with, it always stuck in my head because Tech always says that on the road, when we have Plan C John Woodsworth. Other than that is is two things. The build up to when he came back at SummerSlam 2007, I did like that montage, and the other one is the one in 2002 when he came back in Madison Square Garden.
Right. So you like the Madison Square Garden one?
Yeah, pretty much. It, like you said, Triple H get these long monologues, and it just sounds like a rapist when he breathes like that.
Well, what about funny promos? Let's do that. Think of Sting and Triple H, and think of funny promos. Katie Vick never had them.
Funny Triple H. Funny Triple H was when he brought up Kofi Kingston's fake accent. That was funny.
That never happened.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess funny Triple H would be the Nation parody then.
I mean, okay, I hear that. Well, besides that, everybody's gonna say that.
You're just making it hard to fix something for Triple H. You're doing this on purpose.
Everybody's gonna say the Nation promo. Triple H himself.
Okay. How about the promo? How about the promo where he was shadow fucking Trish?
Okay, that was funny. You talking when Stephanie walked in?
Yeah.
That was a bit. Okay. What about Sting? I don't think Sting had a funny promo.
He wasn't really a funny guy. He was always serious.
No, it's open.
Okay. I think Sting was he was a fun guy, but it wasn't like funny like you could just laugh at him.
Yeah. That's not an insult to him. He just wasn't that kind of guy.
I mean, me honestly, I think I never really was the biggest fan of the newer DX situation, Michaels. I didn't really think a lot of this stuff was funny. Maybe because I got older.
Michael's Christian.
I mean, it really wasn't even that, just in general.
Triple H claims that was the point of it, that it wasn't supposed to be as funny, which is what made it funny. That's what he claimed in an interview.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the steaming pile of shit on the Spirit Squad, I thought that was hilarious. I thought
the segment. Yeah, I thought when he put the Spirit Squad in the little FCW box or OVW, whatever, I thought that was funny.
That was a burial.
Well, I mean, let's not forget Sting's promo, and this is hilarious. I think he was promoing. I think he was promoting against Avalanche or somebody, and he was like, "Yeah, because I'm gonna be the big shark." And it's like, wait, sharks don't bark? What the hell? By the way, it's a lot of pause moments for Sting, and unless I mean, you know, it was the early '90s, and you know everything from before now and the homo.
Well, what I will give
Sting.
Like
that promo?
No. I know that promo with the shark. That was for Ric Flair when he unified the belts.
Oh, okay.
What was that, Shane?
That was the promo when he unified the belts because he was going after Ric Flair and he's like, "I'm like a shark," and did all that. I remember that one. It was funny as a kid, but you know it was kind of awkward when you see it in retrospect.
What I will do
sharks
is
bark, from what I know.
What I will do? Well, Jabba Jaw box, you know, that's a cartoon shark, so
that never happened.
A lot of things never happen. Are you part of the Men in Black? Do you have one of those, like, eraser things? What do you call them?
Well,
neutralizer.
Neutralizer,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God, that should be Cesaro's new gimmick. He should be a member of Men in Black.
Actually, that's not a bad idea, him and Tyson Kidd, because they keep getting buried every time they be on TV. You know, and
they could erase it if it ever happened. That would so get over in the Attitude Era. Anyway, what I will do, what I'll give Sting is I'll give Sting his professionalism is very funny to me because he's been in so many situations where, like, I would just laugh my ass off. And Sting has, like, the straightest face ever. Like when the Shockmaster fell on his ass. And British Bulldog said he fell on his ass. And Sting just looked at him with the most serious face and didn't laugh. That is true professionalism. Or at Victory Road when Jeff Hardy was drugged out of his mind. The dude was so high, Tupac was right next to him. And Sting was like, okay, I can work this. Yeah, that's great, man. I'll be laughing.
That never happened to me.
And let's not forget Ric Flair. Oh, gosh. Oh, right when he shot Mexico, yeah.
What about Booker T tag where he was like, "Who is this motherfucker?"
Did you hear him say that?
Yes, it's on tape. It's on the tape because Ric Flair saying, "Oh God, oh God, and you hear the British Bulldog, and you hear Booker T bleeped out. He's like, who is this motherfucker, man? You know, it's just like that.
Oh, that's why he bleeped it.
And then, you know, also, Toph, the hilarious thing about their promo was the Shopmaster got up and fixed his helmet, and Sid Vicious act like the Shopmaster never fell and was very, very fearful.
He sold it anyway.
He did. He's like, I'm going to get you, and everything, and everybody is laughing uproariously at this segment, and Sid is just going ham on the Shopmaster, and it's just so hilarious. Fans, YouTube this video. This is the funniest botch ever in wrestling. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but I think so.
No, it's up there. I mean, I never noticed that. You're right. Sid sold it anyway. Sid is great, man. Remember that time he did it? Remember that time on the interview where he messed up and he was like, "Let me do it again." And Jared was like, "It's live TV, pal."
Oh yeah, live TV. Can't do that.
Also, remember, Sid had an angle against I think it was Goldberg or somebody, and they had his car smashed, like flattened and everything, and Sid was in the garage screaming, "Oh my God!"
He kept jumping down. No, my God, no! Jumping on that. Oh gosh. And let's not forget the epic Sting promo where he wrestled Ric Flair, and I have this on tape. And I'm gonna try to find it. I'll try to put this on the page. He wrestled Ric Flair on WCW Saturday night. No, during the league of WCW. And he looks in the camera and says, "Oh yeah, Ric Flair, 60 Minutes, man, all night long."
Ew.
And all the kids looked at him. And he kept saying it.
God.
Yeah, Nature, boy, we know why you're the 60-minute man. We know why we call you that. I'm like, no, that's not why. It has nothing to do with wrestling.
Oh God, I gotta take a shower after that one. Toph, remember the Sid Vicious promo where he messed up with the Outsiders? Like he's like, I'm half the man as you was, or something.
I only have half the brain. Something like that. Yeah. Well, Sid said
I liked it when Sid was in ECW, and then Bubba Ray was like, "You think you're psycho? You think that you're so vicious? You got a pretty mouth."
Oh God!
You told he had a pretty mouth.
I've never heard that. Oh,
I've never heard it either.
Is Sid in the Hall of Fame? He should be.
Huh?
No, Sid isn't. He should be.
Okay, he should be in Hall of Fame next year. Sid for Hall of Fame. Best unintentional comedy ever. That guy's great.
No, wait. Sid Vicious in the Hall of Fame? That would be on the pre-show to the Hall of Fame.
Remember that time he took the camera? I like the time he took the camera and casually hit Jose Lothario, and Jose sort of like he had a heart attack?
So let's not forget, and Shin is wrong, to start having pregame shows for the Hall of Fame. So people that just didn't quite make the cut will have honorable mentions.
Don't give WWE ideas.
Yeah.
For a pre-show Hall of Fame?
Yeah, the pre-show Hall of Fame. People who didn't make the full Hall of Fame, there's little honorable mentions. They just got like little Hardwood Bobby Walker, the Goon, Zodiac.
Wild Bill Irwin?
The Monkeys.
Wild Bill. Who's the Monkeys?
The Monkeys. Remember David Herro said earlier, the Monkeys? They were like a tag team. They were jobbers in the 80s.
I remember the Ding Dongs.
That was way later.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it does.
They had bells in the ring. This is a Jim Herd idea.
No, let's all remember the Gemini from SmackDown.
What about the Dicks?
Wow, you're just trying to make me pun a meme out of this. I'm not falling for it.
Well,
no, there was a tag
team.
team
is the king of memes, so he can do that.
There was a tag team called the Dicks, and I could not believe it when I saw it. It was like two midgets. It was like it's almost like J&J Security, who should be security for King Degree.
Real talk, man. If Vince Russo was of WWE, he would team up Paige and AJ and call them the Pussycats.
That's not bad.
Yeah. It definitely isn't.
By the way, I talked to executives at Lucha Underground, and Vince Russo is not working for Lucha Underground, so everybody can just exhale now.
Yeah, you can take, please exhale.
But Vince Russo should be in the Hall of never mind. That's when the Hall of Fame dies, when they let him in.
Well, hey, Bruno got in, Warrior got in, never say never. I mean, and all hatchets can be buried in the world of pro wrestling. With Warrior made the Hall of Fame, Rusty Soul, San Martino made into the Hall of Fame, Scott Hall made into the Hall of Fame, Vince Russo can.
Oh God, Vince Russo kills himself when it comes to creative.
Well, I mean, do give Russo credit. He is the reason why the Attitude Era started off the way it did. So everybody wants to bash Russo. There's a lot of things that happen in the world of wrestling that had nothing to do with Russo, and Vince himself did it. Gobbledygooker, Max Moon. And we keep going. Russo had nothing to do with that stuff. Katie Vick.
Shout outs to Max Moon. Looks like a Power Ranger villain.
Yeah, he was a Power Ranger villain.
He had a rocket arm, and that was it. That was like a rip-off of Mega Man.
Rocket arm.
He did. It was like Conan, and Conan said, "Fuck it, I'm out." And then they had Paul Diamond, who was Paul Diamond? He was Kato, and they let him do it and kill the character off.
See, that's what it is, man. Roman Reigns, he plays too many video games. This whole cocking his arm bullshit, that would have worked great in '95, not in 2015 though.
Well, Toph,
real quick,
Tech also says power up
Conan.
whenever he does it.
Power up. Honorable mention to one of the worst wrestling matches in history is, please look up, and Toph, your co-correspondent, or Shin, your lead, look up One Man Gang versus Conan from WCW.
Yeah, that was horrible.
One of the worst matches that has ever had.
That just sounds horrible. When was this?
1995 at World War III. That was the inaugural one. I tried watching.
You said World War III?
World War III, Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay, I'm on the network right now. I'm about to watch this match. This sounds really funny.
No, go on YouTube if you can. Try to watch the unedited version in case they try to edit out crowd noise. But,
okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record myself watching this while drinking water, so that way I can spit it out and you can see my live reaction to how bad it is.
Do that, post it on the show, and we'll continue this on the show.
Post it on the light
everybody.
page.
Yes, post it on the light page. Just remind everybody that next week, regular time, Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have former WWE superstar, current Ring of Honor superstar, star all around the world, Matt Sydal will be joining us next week on Under the Match Radio. We do want to thank David Herro from the Pro Wrestling Report for joining in. We do thank my mom, Mama Tech, for her 2 cents comment, and we thank Michael for Independent Wrestling Podcast. We thank Saltine for calling in. We thank Babe Mel. Babe Mel is in the house here.
Hey, Tech, where's Caramel Girl?
She's not a friend.
Where's Caramel Girl?
Don't you know, big up to my mom. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be into pro wrestling or even have this show. So big up to my mother.
Give
the reason why I'm laughing now. Everyone, this is a live show, so anything can happen. Shout out to Toph for calling in and his apple juice. Saltine Eric Hughes and his saltine chili and his macaroni and cheese and his pressure cooker. Shout out to Gene Snitsky. It's not his fault.
Also, shout out to Adrian Bliss, who gave a message to Tech. Toph, I know he saw it. He gave me words about that one. Shout out to Paris at the UWE show for taking our pictures. We will see him on Valor this weekend. Also, Adrian Bliss is waiting for Tech this weekend. So Tech and myself will be recording an interview with that. Shout out to Booker T with the interview. He was very, very great. So was Al Snow. So was Neon Ninja Facade. Shout out to NXT Game Boy, who will be making his trip to WrestleMania. We wish him well. Industry Game Boy, we love you. Make sure you bang it out the park when you go down there. Also to Southern Belle and Princess Peach Rail. Anybody else?
Yes. This will be a long outro, just like those rap songs. So we have another 4 minutes. Anybody you want to shout out? So if anybody
also
needs to shout out.
King Degree and
shout outs to Suge Knight and the 25 million. I might call Bruce. I might call Bruce Wayne, but I don't know where Bruce is because he's doing Batman shit. So, it's all right, Suge. It's all right, man. We gonna make it. Tupac Ghost is gonna be there.
So, do you ever think that you would pass out too if it was $25 million for your bail?
Man, not only would I pass out, I like summon Goku or some other otherworldly being to get me out of that situation. But oh well, I don't think Tupac's ghost is gonna come and save him.
I would jump
shout
out
to Tupac Ghost, Flow Rider, NFC Game Boy's favorite. Shout out to Nas. I'm not sure where he's at. He said hip hop is dead.
With his shirt off.
Yeah, with his shirt off. Shout out to KT and JoJo. Hopefully, they could do some more.
Stokely Carmichael.
That is Sofa.
And a light-skinned song.
Shout out to Stokely Hathaway and his big old buddy Christopher Williams. Toph, shout out to the Toph and your apple juice.
Toph don't like orange juice?
Yes, he does. He loves it.
Oh, I like it. I like it for breakfast.
Yeah, shout out to King Degree's Throne. He's promoted up to the gold lever for the 3 inches of height requirement.
Well, also tag not Toph, but King Degree has also been promoted to interviewer for we call his segment Mini Views.
Yes.
Like
breaking news. King Degree's new segment is going to be called Mini Views. When he does interviews as a mini correspondent, that's what we'll be doing. It will be uploaded soon on the YouTube page. Coming soon is a new segment, Mini Views, brought to you by King Degree with his throne.
What? King Degree?
And he'll get promoted to the Sippy Cup.
King Degree interviewing King Degree interviewing first Masquerita Sangrada from Lucha Underground.
Yes. And a C-Bomb.
That and Jermaine Dupri. By the way, fans, thank you for the thumbs on our like page, Under the Mat Radio, our YouTube. Even if you don't like Under the Mat Radio, which I think you should, you can also sign up to the Sensational one who does the road trip vlogs and everything, which I'm working on a new name for. Thank you for the thumbs. Next debate will be coming up, and I smell blood on this one. What is it, Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold?
Hogan
I thought it was
versus
The Rock and
Austin.
Stone Cold. Oh, I thought it was The Rock.
Hogan and Austin. In April.
All right, well, I smell blood on that one.
Yes. Wait a minute, we can't go just yet. I believe we have some more people calling in.
T-Storm?
Yeah, about 2 minutes left. Nah, it's not T-Storm. Shout out to T-Storm, Chance Young.
And a lot of other bologna sandwiches who are fans of ours.
Yes, hashtag bologna sandwiches at Old McDonald's.
E-I-E-I-O.
Yes, E-I-E-I-O. Hashtag.
Also, shout out to Honey Mustard. We forgot about her.
Yeah, shout out to Honey Mustard. Yeah, it's a little under the weather. Believe we have a caller now. Yes, she is. Area code 410. Welcome to Under the Mat Radio. Outro edition.
Real quick, is the NFC Game Boy, fellas, before the outro finish. I just want to say shout out to all of y'all for having a great show, man.
Thanks, man.
And I'm going to represent real hard for us up in Cali this weekend. WrestleMania 30 done. It's not one, it's done. 30 done. It looks like it's already done before it started.
You're going to represent real hard.
Yeah, real hard.
All
right, fellas. And Toph, y'all take care, man. Y'all be safe this weekend. Get shout out to Valor. I'm going to holler at y'all, man, next week. You all ready?
All right, man, thanks.
All right, what it is, what it
is. Yes, it is. What it is, what it do. Hashtag shout out to loafers and the karaoke machines. Everybody else.
And
all right.
Also,
hashtag
shout
tonight.
out to Toph Rage. Hashtag of the night is Toph Rage.
Hashtag
Toph was so
Rage,
passionate.
to the lady in the Powerhouse chicken commercials.
He bought it out like Phife Dawg and Tribe Called Quest Low End Theory album. So, also, shout out to Jim Ross, who retweeted about our articles going in India and Italy about the interview at Under the Mat Radio. So, Under the Mat Radio is hashtag international. Not only Swerve has it, Under the Mat Radio has
5 seconds.
it. So,
Chin's about to get cut off. All right. Talk to y'all next week.
Shy hands. And the shy hands.